What's everybody? Welcome to the Gran Torino with me, your host, Quirton Crooker, or we're going to leave it at Gran Torino for now. Continuing on with the series of interviews, I'm delighted to have Susannah O Brien here with me tonight. Susannah describes herself as a mum of four. We're just going to have a quick debate. Susannah wrote a very interesting article in the journal.ie and just trying to explain the benefits and the joys of being a mum, stay-at-home mum, and raising her kids. Susannah, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm reading through your article there. I thought it was very eloquently spoke and reached out to you, and I'm delighted that you agreed to speak with me this evening.
I'm delighted you asked. It's a great opportunity for me too.
Absolutely. And Juno was with us here as well. Juno's going to keep us company. In your article, you started off being a mother was an amazing and rewarding experience. Can you describe that and go into more detail for me?
Just, being a mum is it's something that I think I always kind of aspire towards, and I don't really know. It's.
Well, talk to us about how the new family came about from the experience from the article. You said you were very young when it first started out.
I was, yeah. I was 18 when I had my first baby,
yeah.
And then myself and my husband, we moved in when she was about 3-4 months old. We moved in together.
Yeah.
And we've been together ever since. And it's very unusual for all the people that I met at the time, people who spoke to us, it was very kind of negative feedback that I got from people, and it was almost like people expected us to fail because we were so young.
Yeah.
And I found that quite difficult to deal with. I didn't really understand why, just because I was so young, our family was doomed to fail. Me and Rob we were never going to make it together. We would have gotten divorced and everything, And
people had stacked the odds up against you already from the start.
Exactly, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and it didn't work out that way. It worked out really positively for us.
Yeah, and you say at the very start the pregnancy came about because you were on antibiotics at the time and the contraception failed. Would you describe it as a crisis pregnancy, or it was an unexpected crisis?
It was an unexpected pregnancy. I have 4 kids and only one of them was planned.
Yeah.
So all of them were unplanned pregnancies pretty much. And as I said, I had my first one I was 18, and then Rosie came along 15 months after. That was because of the antibiotics. I had a really bad kidney infection.
Yeah.
And I'd been on antibiotics for like 2 months, and the GP never thought to tell me that my contraception might fail,
might be in jeopardy.
Never mentioned that to me, which doesn't matter in the end there anyway. But that's what happened. Yeah.
And your second then?
That was my second.
Of course, yeah.
Rosie was the antibiotic.
And you describe in your article, which links will be, I'll put the links in the description box so you may follow along. I encourage you to read the article. It's very eloquently wrote, very well spoken, very well written, I should say. But you're saying that things were hard at the beginning when you first started out.
Yeah, just from other people's attitudes is what made it difficult. We didn't have a hard start in terms of, we were able to look after ourselves financially, and Rob's always worked. So we were never without a place to live or anything like that. So it wasn't hard in that sense. But it was hard because of other people's attitudes, I would say.
How would you describe them?
Just
on
negative.
School runs and stuff like that?
School runs, yeah. The school runs was a bit later on. But neighbours, even some family members,
really?
It's not going to work out for you.
Yeah.
I was for my very first pregnancy. I would say I was encouraged to have an abortion.
Oh really?
Yeah. Obviously,
Obviously, you didn't go for that option there as well.
Go for that option.
And that comes on the back of a very successful march that we had yesterday.
Yeah, I'm
the
sorry.
March live. And I was delighted for the turnout as well. But you chose not to take that option. You decided to work through, and between yourself and your husband.
Yeah.
You carried on and you said you were going to have this family.
Yeah, that's right.
And even though family members put the stacks against you or stuff like that, you still stuck it out. And people said that your marriage, you might not even last the distance, but you've proven them wrong as well.
Yeah, but that was funny. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people, even down to complete randomers that I would meet at, say, mother and toddler groups and things like that. they just had such a negative view that, you know, you're too young, you can't possibly be a parent successfully. Like, it just wasn't in their field of vision, you know. Obviously they were wrong, because, you know, we're married 5 years now, and you know, what more can I say about that? Really, it worked out really well for us. I know maybe that might not be the case for everyone,
of course.
I think it's definitely an option. You know, abortion doesn't have to be the final solution. No, it doesn't. You know, things can work out pretty well. They worked out amazingly for me. I wouldn't change anything for the world. So.
And there are other organisations out there that can assist. You know, and give you other alternatives. People say, you know, there's an adoption route.
Yeah.
You know, that's not for everybody, but there are organisations out there that will help and lend a hand through crisis pregnancies and stuff like that. So abortion doesn't have to be, as we said, the last call on anything like that.
And it's like, I think like it is actually like it's the most final thing that you can do. Once you can't go back from abortion. That's it. Like, once you've done that, that's it. There's no going back. I think a lot of the time it doesn't have to be. You know.
It doesn't have to be, no.
No.
Also in your article then you mentioned absentee fathers and absentee dads, and that didn't really seem the case for you. You know, you guys took it, you made the decision to carry on, and you both knew you were going to have to work hard. But the fact that you chose, some feminists would say, or some women would say, you know, why would you concentrate on having a family at such a young age and giving up your career, as they say?
Yeah, I don't know. I think feminism is really ruining women. When I hear things like that, it shouldn't be. You have to be a career woman. You have to go to college. You have to have a career. Having a family first shouldn't be something to be looked down on, and it is. That's what's happening at the moment. That's how I've always felt. Feminists have never really welcomed me into their circle, you know, even though it's supposed to be about, you know, empowering women and all this kind of jazz, but I've never really felt very empowered by feminists. Or included, no. But yeah, there's, you know, I don't understand the pressure. There's this tremendous pressure on women to go to college and to have a career, and don't start a family until you're in your late 30s, because you just push it out. You don't need to do that now. And I think if women want to have everything, we're doing it backwards. You know, it's not being done the right way around. I can still go to college. My eldest, she's 10 now, but I'll be 38 when she's 18, so I can still go to college if I want to. I probably will, to be honest.
Yeah. But you're not under that biological clock pressure.
There's no pressure. There is no pressure on me. I can sit back and enjoy the ride for the next few years. You know.
And as they say, the kind of with your youth, you can give that drive and energy, because you've got a busy family now.
Yeah.
You're in the prime of your life. You know, you can devote all your attention and your powers to this, and then, as you say, when your youngest becomes 18 and decides to go to college, you still have all that option.
Yeah.
To go back and, you know, carry on your education or choose another career should you choose to so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no pressure on me, but there's a lot of pressure on other women my age.
Yeah.
I have friends who have kids, and I have friends who don't have kids, and I know my friends that don't have kids, and they're in careers, and they're trying to juggle. You know, they're trying to figure out, how am I going to raise a family and still have this career that I've always wanted, and I'm kind of sitting back thinking, maybe you don't need to have it all, like, you know.
And the joy that having a family gives you as well, you know, the joys of your children, you can bring up your ethics, because you're devoting your time, and you were there, you're a constant presence in their life. You're not handing them off to somebody else to go and pursue other things.
That's something that me and Rob have always felt really strongly about. There have been times in the past where Rob has worked 2 jobs, just to make sure that I didn't have to work, because we've always felt strongly that it would be better for the kids to have one of us at least at home with them all the time, and not have them in a crash. Now, I did actually go back. I repeated my leaving cert when the girls were very small, and so they were in a crash for that, but it was only part-time, and that's the only time that we've ever done that. And it's something that we've always, even when we just started out, you know, and I don't know what made us think that way, because everything around us was telling us to do the opposite. So I don't know why that actually came about. We just naturally gravitated towards this type of a family situation. But yeah, I think it's...
How do you think that all came about?
Were shoved into a crash.
Yeah, put into a crash. I mean, I know, so you wouldn't have that option sometimes, you know. The way life is, it seems to be panning out most days, it's a lot of pressure just to have the family, just to have one child.
Yeah.
You know? But how do you think...
So expensive as well.
Yeah, so expensive, the cost of living, everything's right.
It's a second mortgage for a lot of people.
Yeah, and it seems the odds are stacked up against the family unit, where it seems to be, let's have 2 working units.
Yeah.
You know, bringing in the cash, and you can have your 1.2 children as it's ascribed to.
Yeah.
But you're so heavily tax burdened, and you're not given any incentives.
Yeah.
Like to sit back, either partner, like should you as the how would I say, I don't want to say, as the woman, say your job was more highly qualified and you had to go out and be the working mum, and it would be your husband would be the stay at home.
Yeah.
That perspective there, but there's no incentives given by government to help to allow the family to grow in that environment.
No, there isn't. It's
How do you think that came about, or have you ever noticed, or is that something you've just grown up and I think that's just kind of crept up on us?
No, I don't think it's just crept up on us. I think there's been this gradual shift away from traditional family values over the last, say, 20, 30 years or so. Probably maybe even longer, I don't know. But yeah, there seems to be this and there again, I think feminism is probably to blame for that. Feminism tells women that you don't have to, you can just go out and be this career woman, and you don't have to have, you don't have to do the family thing straight away. You know, your role as a mother is less important. It should be less important than your career ambitions and your educational ambitions and stuff like that. And so I think just that mindset gradually has kind of seeped into a lot of different areas in our lives, insidiously, without us really
realising.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the mother is kind of denigrated and pushed down as a second tier or second class.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
And for me, I think as a woman, if you become a mother, I think your status should be elevated.
Yeah.
You know, because you're essentially two people in one body.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
caring for each other.
Yeah.
In that sense, you know, I don't know where the philosophies came in that sort of will push the mother down and will set it up so that she's disadvantaged. You know what I mean? She feels a certain pressure to go in a certain direction. You know what I mean? Do you want to have it all? Do you want to be that career woman? And as we see now, as it's kind of panning out, from my perspective anyway, that come close to 38, 39, when you're finished, when your eldest or your youngest has come to an age where they can be self-sustaining, you can go into the environment.
Yeah.
That's when the modern woman nowadays seems to be going into that situation.
She's just getting started at that stage.
And then the inherent risks that go ahead with that.
There's all kinds of risks. I mean, like the older you get, the more risky pregnancy becomes for like a myriad of reasons, like from basic stuff to back pain and posture and stuff like that, all the way down to like serious chromosomal problems with babies like Down syndrome and stuff like that. It's a lot more likely to happen after a woman's fertility starts to decline naturally, like after the age of 35. And it's worth noting that having babies, in your fertile years, it's actually healthy. It's good for women to do that because it's all to do with estrogen. It's one of our main hormones that we have to deal with, and it does all kinds of things for our menstrual cycle and pregnancy and stuff. But it's also carcinogenic.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. If you go to the World Health Organization, it's listed as a carcinogen. So the more pregnancies that you have, there's a pause for 9 months of your estrogen.
Right.
And it's the same if you breastfeed.
Right.
So that's why, sometimes people think, I can use breastfeeding as a contraception. Don't recommend that though.
Yeah, right.
Don't recommend that. But it's because the estrogen isn't in its full.
So prevalent in the body, or?
Yeah, exactly. And that's good, because the more exposure we have to estrogen, the higher your chances go for all these different kinds of female hormone related cancers and stuff, breast cancer, certain gynecological cancers, cervical cancer, all kinds of things. So having babies is actually good for you.
Yeah, another bit of information on it, but I wasn't sure. I wanted to push back on the absentee father in your article as well. Like, I know you say that Rob's had to go. He stopped for college and did a 2-year just to elevate the position, because he knew you had a target thing, but it gives you that incentive, to work together as a team. Your husband had to take time out to do that kind of stuff. That must have been a tough time as well, because I'd say that the cash flow was a little bit restricted.
Yeah, definitely.
You muddled through. Can you describe that experience? Can you remember that experience at the time?
Well, not really a whole lot changed for us, really. Like, if I think back about it, not a huge amount changed. We still kind of, like, he was still out of the house for the same amount of time during the day. The money was a little bit tighter, I suppose. We live just across the road from a farm. It's my brother's farm, so we've got plenty of meat and potatoes and everything over there available to us.
All the essentials up here,
We have all the essentials up here, so it didn't really hit us as bad as maybe it would have hit.
Yeah, that kind of support.
We have family right across the road, so we have a huge amount of support. But yeah, like, I don't really think that him not working for just the 2 years really had any kind of...
Didn't really have effect,
No.
And you go through it and you have that family support.
Yeah, we had the family support.
Which is very good. Now, the staunch feminists in your article, let's talk about the feminists. I know we touched about that the feminists would say that you should ascribe to, giving up your motherhood and give yourself that empowerment, being a working mom, and kids can only be a burden. Like you say, your sexual health, your not say your sexual health, but push that aside, concentrate on your contraception, live your life. And do you see that? I don't see that in my life, that women that go that far or ascribe that they're essentially happy. I think they've been misled in a sort of way.
Yeah,
there's no sort of angle on it. I'm just looking at it from what I see, and coming into your late 30s and stuff, like, you do feel that inherent pressure to get pregnant, or you think you've missed out, and your chances of conceiving obviously become down and down. But you say that in your article that women kind of turned their nose, because you were young and you looked young, and they kind of turned their nose up at you. That must have been a horrible experience as well.
Yeah, that was the school pickups, where most of that stuff went on in one of the schools that my kids attended, because they've been to a couple of different schools. And there's just really snooty attitudes.
And the parties and stuff like that weren't. I wonder why were they saying, because you're so young?
I don't know. I can't answer the question because I don't know what's going on in their head, but that's the only thing that I can come up with. I was the only young mum, and I did.
You were stigmatized. Would you feel like you were stigmatized because you were a young mum?
I think in certain circumstances I definitely was. Yeah. It's just there's the stereotype that young mums, they're single, they are on social welfare, they get free housing, free everything, and they're just having babies to get all the free government stuff. And wasn't the case for me.
Not necessarily always the case.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. I definitely did get some negative feedback at the school, one of the schools. There were play dates and stuff that I would try and arrange that just never happened. It would always kind of be, I'll give you a text, I never got the text. I never got the text.
That's such a shame.
Yeah.
And you said your children felt a little bit affected by it as well.
They picked up on it, yeah. I know one of my daughters was really good friends with one of the more popular kids in her class, and I tried really hard to strike up a relationship with her mum, and it just never happened. It was noticed at home, and that annoyed me. That made me angry.
Yeah.
Because there was no good reason for it,
And how would you say things are now? I mean, your children are more or less established and they're coming up. They're still in a very young age. Things are a little bit chaotic, but how would you describe being a mum of four now?
Yeah, things have stabilised a bit. Well, I homeschool now. So they're not in the. I don't have to go to the school gate anymore.
That's fantastic. I'm glad you brought that up, because I noticed a friend of mine mentioned the same sort of thing. He could see his daughter and his girlfriend's daughter are playmates together now, and they come from two separate schools.
Yeah.
And he noticed from his new girlfriend's daughter playing with his child. They're both similar age, 2 girls of about 6 or 7. And his new girlfriend's daughter would come home and give him presents of pictures that she might have done at school and stuff like that. And we noticed that there were certain political figures that were derided in the background. I'm not going to say who, you can obviously figure out who it is. But that to me is political ideology being taught at schools.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old to know or understand anything other than the core subjects they're being taught.
Yeah.
Did you have any experience of that when your children were
Well,
going
it's
to
one
school?
of the big reasons why we took them out.
Really,
yeah, definitely one of the big reasons why we took them out. All kinds of indoctrination going on there. There was one day, one of my kids came home and she was telling me just how fantastic Hillary Clinton is, and she's going to be the next president, and she's going to be the first woman who's a president in America, and isn't that just the best thing ever? And she's so great, and Donald Trump is really bad, and everybody hates him in America, and he's a bad man. And I was just sitting there kind of going, what has happened?
Yeah.
What's just happened here? Like,
yeah, I mean, white children should not be exposed to anything like that. School is a place of learning.
Exactly.
And for a teacher to bring that in, and for it not to be picked up, you know, they're almost encouraged in certain circumstances. But now you say you're homeschooling as well, and I'm sure you can see a vast difference in them because you're able to devote that time and give them the core subjects.
Yeah, big time, yeah. I know the two of them have really excelled in art.
Fantastic.
Both of them are just amazing little artists, and they never really got... now I can understand, like, a teacher has, 30 kids in her class, and obviously they have to get more
Some would
important
say more
stuff
than
done.
30, a lot more important in some cases.
Some of them do, yeah. So they don't have enough time to devote to certain things, like, but I think...
We're just going to keep it to the article. We're pretty happy
Yeah,
with
we did the article, and I was just going to say now. So that concludes. That was a lovely interview. Thank you very much for giving us your insight into that article. Like I said, I'll be putting. And Juno, thank you very much for being such a good girl. When we had this moment today.
You've made a friend for life there.
I'm another friend for life. Kevin's dog was there. Nobody noticed the dog in the last interview either. So I'd like to say thank you very much again to Susannah for sharing this moment with us. If you feel encouraged, sorry.
It's my pleasure.
Sorry. I'd like to thank. Let's do it again.
Okay. Tina, are you too hot?
Yeah, you're going to. Oh no, I'm gonna just give me 2 more minutes because I think it's perfect to have you here.
Okay.
So Susannah, thank you very much for going to the interview. I thought we brought some great points up there and very well spoken. I'd like to thank Juno as well for being such a good girl and looking after us too. And I think Kevin Sharkey's got a little bit of competition there for the best well-behaved dog in our current interviews. Again, thanks very much for joining the platform here. We try to give all voices a platform here. That's what we're just trying to do here in the Grand Torino. If you think the videos were of any monetary value and you wanted to donate to help the platform to keep raising up so we can have these further conversations that are not being covered, I'd please ask you to have a look at the PayPal. We accept PayPal, Patreon and cryptocurrencies if you're of inclined. Also, I'd like to remind you to press the little like, subscribe if you're new to the channel as well, please. And thanks very much for joining us today. Susannah, thanks very much again.
Thanks for having me.
Buzz everybody.